Bottom Line Sports Talk. I'm George Abraham. You know my partner, Albert Cameron. Albert, community's always nice when they get together, they bond, come together for one common goal. And with this crazy, crazy season we're having in every sport, it's nice to see some community interaction, although it's on a limited basis.
It's a great start to our show today, George. Howland and Canfield, those two communities got together and said, "Hey, during this volleyball match, let's bring a breast cancer awareness to the forefront." They made shirts saying "Together we fight." Pink, we knows the color for cancer. They couldn't have a big attendance for that because of the COVID-19, but 120 shirts sold representing the community stepping out. George and I have a saying about giving and taking. These givers at Canfield, Ohio, we are starting our show off for you and with you as the head, because we really appreciate what you did.
Yeah, and you guys that are watching, send a note to Greg. I'll gladly buy one for Al and me. Not a problem at all.
That, George.
We'd love to contribute to your cause. 2 double X's if you have.
We'll get Greg too. We'll get Greg.
Absolutely.
We'll get Greg
you just get in touch with Greg by email, and I'll have the check Greg the next day. We'd love to participate in a. Remember, we had one a few years ago in the President's Conference.
Yes.
And we bought some T-shirts, and a lady eventually passed away.
Yeah, and we don't guarantee that part of it, but we do guarantee that you care.
We're behind you.
Yeah, that we care and you care. So congratulations again to Holland and Canfield, anybody out there that is doing something we might not know about.
Yeah.
We would love to know something you're doing in the community.
Especially now.
Because, during this time of reclamation, during this COVID, it's tough, no question.
I tell people this all the time. It's been a theme on our show for years. This Phantoms hockey. I told my buddies, I gave them tickets. I said, you guys are missing out on the quality of hockey that they're playing right here.
Yeah, and when you have that kind of quality that is proven, then George is right on it. And it's proven again as 2 Phantom players were selected in the NHL draft. With the 89th pick in the 3rd round, the Bruins selected Trevor Kunter. Congratulations, Trevor. And also the Bruins came back and took Riley Duran with the 182nd pick. When you got 2 guys that you're going to be able to see skating in the NHL, playing right in your backyard for the Phantoms, it's worth taking a day, take your grandkids, take your kids down and watch that. We were on our way. We were planning on it. And then
it's so reasonable.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the price is good. And they even gave out a couple of free tickets one day. Remember, George?
Absolutely.
And so we were giving those away.
I had a buddy, and I said, I don't think you realize how good they are.
Yes, tremendous. It's the level they're at. The pros are here. They're here. They're climbing the ladder, getting ready to make it in the NHL. You never know which players that you can say someday. I saw them play in Youngstown when they were there. So congratulations to the Phantoms players and the Phantoms fans for seeing some tremendous hockey.
I want to talk. We have some pro stuff to talk about. I want to skip that though, and first talk about kids in the area, athletes, high school athletes, moving on, getting scullies, and the realization of the numbers. The numbers are startling, and the numbers say one thing: do your homework, do the best you can academically.
One of our themes on this show is representing the coaches and kids in a manner that leads to a great life experience. And guys, education is the great life experience. According to the NCAA, this is crazy when you hear this, 10,000 high school kids playing sports, 2 or 3 will make it to the pros. 2 out of 10,000. Does that tell you might want to think about having a secondary plan? Not only that, 3% of the males and 3.3% of the females who are playing high school sports end up playing college.
Not pro.
Yeah, college. So, guys, enjoy your high school career tremendously. Put commitment to it that you can't believe, because this might be the last time you play For a lot of them, George, it is.
Absolutely.
It's the last time they put a uniform on is senior night of their season.
No, absolutely. No, I've always said that. And I always used to kid my guys, I said, who's got number 22 or whatever, we'd be doing the matchups, and I'd think to myself, when I was in college, I looked out at other end, and I'd see a little guy, 5'8", 5'10", and I think to myself, now, there's only one possible reason he's down there.
Right.
He's lightning fast.
Oh, yes.
Or he would not be down there. Like when we talk about kick return, why's the dude back there by himself?
Oh, yes.
Because he's the fastest guy in the field.
And they continue to make the same mistake.
Punt it to him.
Punt to him, and they see it in the end zone. Used to be one game there tonight, right? Because they kicked off to the fastest guy in the field.
I have to see that guy again.
Stevens is amazing.
I have to see that guy again.
But those are the guys that make the pros.
Yeah.
There's
50 other ones. Well, actually, 9,999.
Yeah, I have a strong feeling that when you watched Boardman play, when Bernie Kosar was there, that you thought, hey,
he's pretty good.
He's going to Miami, Florida.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
I have a feeling we might see him in the pros someday. There are guys you just recognize as pro. When I saw Maurice Cormack play, it didn't take me long to think, I think he may go to Ohio State.
He might be pretty good. Now, we talked about some others. We do Sean Gilbert.
Yes.
Right away.
Oh, yeah, LeVar Arrington.
Pennsylvania.
Those doing Pennsylvania.
Now, he wasn't normal. And then the kid Pryor from Jeanette.
Yes.
He wasn't normal.
No,
but I remember Marcus Merrick. We scrimmaged them in basketball.
Yeah, Brookfield, yes.
No, you know what? He wasn't the same as those other guys.
No. So those are the ones that we're talking about are 2-3%. That they are there. They're the 2 or 3 kids that make the pros. That, it didn't take a genius to watch LeBron play when he was 12 years old and say, I think he's a little different.
He's better than some of these guys.
He's a little different coming out.
But
yes.
Let's look at the high school. We talk about the memories. There's a great commercial that runs on local radio, and it talks about the need for officials, and they say, for us to have the stars, we need the stripes. We need officials.
Right, good luck.
But there's a theme in that commercial that talks about leadership, teamwork, being a member of a team, time management.
All those.
And there's one there that is drastic. Hey, I beg you, coaches of younger players. I beg you, because you can stop it. Humility.
Yeah, and that's the one we're losing. We're losing that the great players continually pass on some bad vibes to the young high school kids by pointing at themselves. I don't want to see this. And see the high school kids are all doing it. And I know where they get the idea, George. They get it from those unhumble kids aren't humble and become pros that think it's them. They don't realize it's a team. And the ones that realize it's a team are the ones who win championships.
I saw 2 weeks ago 2 different guys flashing signs. Now, remember, if Army's chasing you, they're chasing you to the end zone.
Right.
Like you said, Abilene Christian.
7 twice.
The guy thought on the 10 that he was in. Well, these Army dudes, they'll chase you out of the stadium.
Yeah, and what George is talking about, they're celebrating before they get in the end zone.
Yeah, making signs.
Making signs as they're running.
Stupid.
Now, as a 2 ex-coaches that truly believe in discipline, that we can't guarantee it wouldn't happen. What we'll guarantee is he wouldn't be on the team the second time.
Yeah, I used to tell
that's what I
used to tell my dudes that I said, listen, the first time I may not be able to do something, but I can assure you of one thing, you won't do it twice.
Yes.
Because that's the old Lou Holt story. He was talking, I think it was Gannon, Rich Gannon. And he says, about interceptions, he said, well, Rich, he said, I got something for that. He said, Rich said, I mean, if you have something that'll keep me from being intercepted 3 times. He goes, yeah. He goes, I'll take you out.
It works. There's nothing, any great player and any bad player. Any player, we're saying, the thing that they don't want to do.
One thing, right?
They don't sit the bench. That works for sure.
Bob Knight used to say the message goes from here to there. Yeah. And you figure it out.
The coaches are so afraid.
They won't.
Coaches, we're talking directly to you now.
Especially young ones.
What are you afraid of?
What's good? Yeah.
Yes. sit them out.
So you lose the Biddy League. Do you remember who won the Biddy League?
No one remembers. They don't even know we coached.
No.
They don't even know
we'd
we
be giving
coached.
lessons. These kids would come up and they'd say, "Did you ever coach anywhere?" And to them,
that's so
it was yesterday's paper. We don't know us from Adam.
But it is not going to affect you one iota. What it's going to do is it's finally going to make an effect on a kid that somebody cared enough to held them accountable. Hold them accountable. That's what sports is all about.
That's
it really is, George.
And NBA, WNBA, the numbers say have a plan B. The numbers say that.
Please.
Like if there was such a slim chance of accomplishing anything else, you wouldn't even pursue it.
No.
If I said
2 out of 10,000.
I said, Al, you got a 2 out of 10,000 chance.
I'm getting a teaching job.
And I think I'm going to try something else.
I'll try a different occupation.
Yeah.
Guys, but the one thing it does guarantee you something. I said maybe not exactly what you want right away is education. You have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
George, when we were growing up, there was a chance that if you didn't go, you go straight to a mill. You go work.
Out to the railroad.
You go work, get a job. Not today. You better have that. You better have that degree. You better say your name on it if you want an opportunity to live a life that you want to live.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Characteristics they use for down the road. We were talking to one of our guests on our radio show, and the President's Conference is going to run these workshops.
Is that awesome?
On teaching these kids how to take care of their money.
Yeah, financial is the key when you get out of when you get that degree, and that means saving. That means understanding how the credit cards work. George taught economics in high school. That's his strength. And George, you would spend time with those kids, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because a buddy of ours sent us a text when we were on the radio, and he's a business owner in the area. He said, maybe one day a week, teach some skills about, buying a car, buying a house, credit cards. He said, I know you're going to need those.
Yes.
Now, will you need your Shakespeare? I'm nothing wrong with Shakespeare.
Oh, no. Famous.
But the bottom line is
real life experience.
Yeah,
you're right.
real life.
That does work. And that's what sports does. You understand? Not only does it teach you to get along with your teammates, but George mentioned some of it. It teaches about respect. It teaches about staying determined when you're 0-6. Some team out there in Ohio right now is 0-5.
Yeah.
Or
the quarterback in Georgia, wasn't he going and came back?
Yes. He said, I want to play. I'll prove it. So he went to junior college, came back. They said, we'll take you for the scout team.
Yeah. Okay.
Now he's the starting quarterback.
I'm going to root for that
Georgia.
Kid. I'm rooting for that.
Yeah, you have
2-star out of high school.
2-star out of high school, yes.
So there you go. And, accountability in today's world. One thing, that's something we don't want to be the get off our yard guy, but we will say this. When the handshake meant something, the world was a better place.
Yeah, and that also has to do with, enabling. And it bothers me so bad that you teachers and coaches out there enable a kid just because you have to be a popular student or a very good player that you let him get away with murder.
Let me take
George, so disgusting.
Yeah, I'm talking. This has been a while now. I'm out of the game. This guy's a local coach, very successful. We're talking. He says, yeah, he said he was behind in one lady's class who I happened to coach her son. She knew, she knew,
right.
She knows me. And he says, so one night he says, I got her to let him make the workout, which I would never do.
Right.
Then he said, I told him I'll pick you up and take you to school early so you can go to her room and make it up. I'm holding his phone, thinking there's something in my ear.
Something wrong.
There's something wrong. Then the coup de grace is the kid didn't show up.
I said,
are you kidding me?
Ooh, that one hurt.
First of all,
that one hurt.
First of all, there's no asking the teacher to do it.
Right.
Secondly, there's no picking him up. He'll get in there if he wants to do it badly enough. And then thirdly, he doesn't show up and makes you wait.
Well, you led George is something that that I talk about all the time. Not on the show, but I'm going to talk about it right now. Is somebody always asks me, because we both taught 60 years, 70 years. What are the kids like? And I'd say, The kids are the exact same. The parents aren't.
It isn't.
It's the facts of life. Please, you're allowed to say no to your kids.
Yeah, does that mean you don't love them?
No,
I mean you love them more.
Make that clear that you love them more when you say no. George, you're allowed to say no. Million times.
This is a true story. This is we're off the path here.
That's good.
But no, I mean as a society.
Oh yes, you're right.
They get word. I was a slipper. Now this is a long time ago,
right?
But you'll love this story. So they get word. All these kids are Marine. So they go out, principal, my buddies, they get them, they see them all. They got them all out there.
They're at the park.
And you know, when you only graduate 160,
they're all there.
You know quite a few. It's not like Altoona.
Yeah, you know
well, I graduated with 1,000 kids.
Names,
no,
right?
My mom had always told me, you graduated with her daughter. I said, Mom,
I don't know her.
I don't know her. But anyhow, so they come back to the school. And they start calling their parents. And the lady said, oh, yeah, she's right here. She's sick. Now think of the lesson you're teaching.
Oh, my gosh.
And they
think
saw
about that
the girl
story. Yeah, she's right
at
there.
Moraine.
Yes.
They knew she
the
was.
mother was doing that to her.
And you wonder why.
That's sad. That's sad. It makes me cry.
And I have a buddy now. He's doing the
cry.
same thing with his grandkid, keeping his mouth shut. It's hard. Has his teacher. It's just not a motivator, not into it. And the kid is really suffering because he's struggling. He doesn't like the class, And the mom and dad, who are, this is my buddy, this is a grandkid. They're trying to stay out of it because they don't want to teach the kid that every time something's hard, we just replace the teacher, which is pretty much the way things go. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. I know exactly what you're saying. And you have to do it. You got to keep your mouth and say and tell it. That's what you say. Listen, read more on your own. So do something because I'm not going to bail you out every time you don't like something.
No, I understand.
The bailout technique does not work.
No, they used to call them helicopter parents because they were always in practice and floating around the facility. Now they call them snowplow parents. Well, they just move in and the officer was out of the way.
I never thought of it that way.
And you're really not helping your child because at some point they're going to need the grades to get in grad school.
Yes.
They're going to need to please the boss for a performance raise or what have you.
Well, that's what's happening. That's what's happening right now when I watch the NBA. When I watch the Lakers and I watch Miami, it's proof that Jimmy Butler is one of those old timers. That hard work. I'm going to play every minute. Don't take me out, coach.
No, not.
I'm
47 minutes Friday.
I'm going to try to win this game.
Absolutely.
Doing the right way. What we're rooting for. That is what we root for. And we have this trouble down in with the Houston Texans, George.
With what?
With Watt and O'Brien.
I hear the coaches replaced Monday. So I do a little checking, a little digging, and I find out that he and Watt had this big blow up on the practice field. Well, we're in such a time today where if the coach can't get along with his star, the coach is gone.
Yeah, they are not. They are not paid for X and O's anymore. They're not paid. How well can you motivate your team to keep playing, especially the stars? How do you control the locker room is true in Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the NFL. They all know their football. They all know their baseball and basketball. But that is not what's happening, George.
Doc Rivers was hired to try to work with Embiid.
That's it.
And Simmons.
They know how good a player Embiid is.
Yeah.
But he constantly wilts out.
Can't get to him.
Nobody's able to reach him. And
he has his
so that's what they're hoping that ring. George and I talk about that ring. The pros see somebody, they see somebody who's won me. They'll really
by the way,
them.
I saw when Gino Oriana the other day was going like this.
He had them all. Yeah.
He had them all. The bottom line is, I think you're going to listen to it.
Gino's old school too, though.
Yeah.
I've gained a new.
He's tough.
Yeah, newfound respect for him.
Mm-hmm.
I really have. That he goes out and recruits great players, but he makes them toe the line. He expects a lot.
Watch his body language on the bench.
Oh.
If you're up 30 and you're not up clapping, he knows you're not all in.
He'll let you know.
He'll let you know
right away.
Most guys will never even dream of doing
that. That's the truth.
Hey, let's talk about some thoughts on the baseball. So there could be as few as 8, as many as 14 games. Openers, this thing. The Yankees basically second's their highest payroll. they're the elite. Let's face it. Even if there's number 4, they're right there. And I think the fact they haven't been in a World Series in a decade is a big deal. It tells me mismanagement, but that's another time. Could that manager have done that on his own? Could he have had an opener and basically pulled Tanaka to the next night? Do you think that came from a bubble?
Well, for sure, came from a bubble.
That's right.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I don't even question that.
Okay.
Anybody in sports, anybody in New York knows it's happened that way. That's why Girardi left, because Girardi didn't want to deal with that anymore. He wanted to try to be a manager like the old school. Boone took the job, and you only get paid $1.3 million. So he took the job cheap. And he also took the job telling them that I'll go analytics all the way. That 24-year-old Harvard guy is going to tell me, here's who we're going to pitch the next day. Here's when he's coming out. Here's the lineup. And Boone said, I'm okay with that because I got a chance to be on the bench. I'd have a hard time doing that, George. I'd have a hard time telling you how to coach.
It's almost as though they're saying, we really don't need you. We need someone to
And they really don't. In today's baseball world, everything is analytic driven. 3 guys on one side of the infield. No bunts, no steals. Just try to hit it out of the park every at bat. Every at bat.
You know what I have to say? This is me. I don't have any proof of this. This is my experience. I think they insulted Tanaka when they moved him back a day.
I wouldn't doubt it.
For a guy that would pitch an inning.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that at all. I did say on the before that he's pitched so terribly.
Yeah.
That they gave him that option. I mean, he gave him that option.
Yeah.
Like if he was pitching like he normally does,
lights out there.
He would have been a second pitcher for sure.
Let me ask you, spending the money brings me to the Dodgers, $300 million. Mookie Betts, whomever. They still look weak in the back of the bullpen to me. Do you think
they're not the strongest?
Okay.
But they have a really good bullpen too.
So they just don't see a problem.
No, because they're not going to use. They already fell for that mistake already.
Okay.
Putting Jensen in every time.
Okay.
No, he'll get first opportunity.
Okay.
But they'll use one of their flamethrowers out there to come in if they have to. They're not as strong though as some of the other 3 bullpens that are out there.
Okay. Locally, we don't have any Ohio State football, but we will soon.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to it because I heard they
the Buckeyes are
ridiculous.
They never reload, and this is a team. That's why they wanted to play so badly.
Mm-hmm.
They were hoping to play.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout they were praying to play, and Ryan Day is one of those guys that recognizes they've recruited better than anybody in the Midwest of this country, and they have a definite chance to win a national championship, no question about it.
No, I would agree with that without a doubt. I don't see why they can't. The other side, Pitt, first 3-0 started years, had a chance to really step out nationally against NC State, and the proverbial egg.
That's who they are, though. They're not Ohio State.
Okay.
I never put them in that category.
Okay.
I don't think
you're expecting 7-3-6-4.
Yeah. I thought if they played, they would win 8-9 games this year.
Oh, you did.
And I did, and I still think they.
So they got to beat Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, Boston College, Clemson,
and they can lose They can lose them too.
Okay,
but they can win. I mean, they're not just.
You like Pickett?
It's a pro.
Okay,
it's a pro. Yeah.
It sounds like more and more people are coming.
Yeah, they all know he's a pro. I mean, when he was a lead off on ESPN the other night.
Okay, now let me run some NBA stuff by LeBron being so close by. Can we get a quote unquote good shot if he or the eyebrow don't take it?
They're going to get a good shot, but it's not a guarantee it's going in because those are just also run players.
Okay.
Remember, that shot in the fourth quarter. It's a lot different than shot in the first quarter.
Okay.
I don't care what they say.
So D&3 isn't the same shooter.
Yeah. When that pressure's on you, you got to make it. LeBron and Davis are two sensational players, and they're going to get theirs. LA's going to live and die on how the other guys play. And last night, Morris played terribly. He had been playing really good in the series. That's all it takes. Him to have a bad. Caruso's played badly.
Oh, no,
they've had some guys not playing good.
You know what? He's falling into that every time.
Well, that comes in everybody in the NBA. I don't see anybody who does
it. Jeez. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, LeBron's the worst.
No, he's the worst.
No, LeBron is the worst.
And who's driving? Dwight Howard. He'll go in there and he'll blast the guy off the post. They'll call a foul and he
can't play.
Like Wilt used to do.
I wouldn't put him in the game. I would not have him. I don't
No,
want.
I wouldn't.
You know, he's Bam is not one bit afraid of him, and Bam's 10 times the player. See, he bullies people around. That's what Howard does.
Couple minutes left here. Major Leagues, any thoughts on the Rays' third smallest payroll appearing to be a definite contender?
They have done the best job of building a farm system.
That
And once again, people
keyword.
don't realize they put their money there.
Okay.
And they don't grasp it. They look at the major league salary. What they do is they build a farm, and they'll say, okay, I'm gonna trade 2 of these guys for a Snell. I'm gonna trade 2 of these guys for a Gazza. You know, they trade guys from the minor league system. They got 4 of them playing right now in the outfield. They're all picked up. They're a team. They're not a team. They're a franchise that decide I'm gonna
You
put money.
said something interesting there. Didn't even know you said it. 4-man outfield, because they play one. When they get a lead, they'll play a 4-man outfield.
They're the analytic specialists.
Okay.
They do it.
NFL playing on Monday, Tuesday. Does Al like Tuesday?
I don't like no. No. But like you think, it's going to go 7 days.
I could see them making a schedule down the road where you alternated the way where you played every 8th day or something. And
yeah, that would bother me. That's overtime for me.
Okay.
And I'm a sports guy.
No. Let me say
That's
why.
too much.
Let me tell you what. I used to watch every game, and when they flooded this with 4 baseball games a day and all that, I pulled back saturation.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's too much.
Yeah.
It just gets too much.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and obviously with a minute left here, the big boys, the Ohio States, the power teams, Alabamas, the Clemsons, they cannot afford to get this COVID. They can't let it spread through the team.
They wouldn't let you know anyway.
You think they would try?
No, I know. I don't think.
So you think?
I think they've been trying.
Trevor, you think if old Trevor had a fever, Dabo might keep it to himself?
I know Dabo will keep it to himself. I'll be shocked. Let's put it this way. I can't say no. I'll be shocked.
Okay.
If he'd have to have major symptoms.
All right, I got you.
I think if you're asymptomatic,
okay,
he's not telling anybody.
Hey, you heard it here. Thanks again for watching Bottom Line Sports Talk. See you next week.